everybody. We'll be on in a second. I have to rechange all the links. We lost internet connection. If this doesn't work, so I will apologize and gracefully bow out. Hang on. I will be right with you. I'm back. That was annoying. Have you ever dealt with Wi-Fi? Again, everybody, it's Friday. Grab a drink. It's well after 5. Geez, it's 6:30. We're supposed to be done with this episode, and I'm just starting. And I tell you what, mate, in the words of Conor McGregor, I don't give one, and this is not a curse word, fook. It's like cook, but with an Irish accent, like cook. Yeah. So I'll be drinking an Arnold Palmer spiked iced chai. Share this. I'm sorry, I shared it everywhere and now it's gone. There's a whole mess. Let me see if I can syndicate the opposite way I was doing. Where in the world are we? Cross-promote to more pages. Sure, and sure. We're trying to get this thing up and running. I would like to get people in here. The bunny is back in. Share. Get at it. I'm sure people will join in. I'm going to start from scratch. As long as the Wi-Fi doesn't go out, I won't lose my mind. All right? We need to hold people accountable from both sides. I am here to help actually heal the division. The extremists need to come off of their perches of extreminess. Let's go there. I'm just catching you up in a fast pace. But overall, it's the responsibility of everyone to heal, and we can't defer it to the people that we're arguing with to cave into all of our demands. We also can't blindly listen to the media, okay? I'm going to just recap this real quick. Here we go. Bam! The media has been uploading stuff onto everyone's head. Bias, points of view, one direction, and there's only a few media stations that do the other side, which would make it how we have a partisan divide, but majority of mainstream media is skewed toward one way. We're all left in a problematic situation because we're all indoctrinated with the thought that everyone that's not us is bad, and this is the reason why. When we're not looking at no one's bad, we're all trying to figure out how to work together. But the galvanization has led us to where we're at. If you follow it and you try to say, how can we get out of this media upload cycle of doom, we have to take accountability and not act like this is all one-sided. So, for the people that watch this, I apologize, but take this time to share this post. We are the news people, and it's time to get it out there. So I'm going to play a bunch of clips and we're going to discuss.
I don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is
white men, most of them radicalized right, to the right.
Why?
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
No one can tell me that if had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol. We all know that's true. And it is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance.
So, as we're getting through the divide, there's legitimate concerns on every side of this. And we're all put at, majority of people do not even follow politics. They're nighttime comedian hosts. They're mainstream local news stations. And then if they decide to dive into the CNNs and MSNBC, because no one really just dives into Fox. There's got to be a reason for you to dive into Fox, because everybody has been told by what they've been listening to and all the comedians and famous people saying, no, you don't want to listen to Fox unless you're crazy. It's not real news. So you automatically discount anyone else's opinion or anything that they stand for or anything that's reported on Fox. It's just not real. Now, this is where the problems come in. We have to listen to each other, and if we do not discuss and actually follow the breadcrumbs, we don't know the real truth about why and what is going on. And again, I've had debates with people and discussions. They don't know who Eric Holder is. They don't know who Maxine Waters is. They don't know anything about politics, but they have a very strong opinion about why everyone's racist and who divided the entire nation. But the calls for violence from the politicians on the left are ignored. The shooting of Republicans playing softball by a Bernie Sanders supporter, ignored. And that's, how can you just ignore a major part of an equation? If you have a big equation in front of you and all you did was 2 + 2, which was at the end of the parentheses, remember PEMDAS from school? You can't get the right answer. And that's where we're at. We're at this point, as I like to continue to remind you, here's where we're at. The upload is in progress. We don't want to listen to anybody because we've been told by them that they're automatically wrong. If you lack any critical thinking, you believe it. But there's got to be, and I hope there's an ember just barely hanging on in everyone's brain that is not here with us right now. There's people on the left, there's people on the right. I've had debates in person, and I see it. I see the ember burning. What? Yeah, jeez. And you see the ember burning, and you ask yourself, how are we ignoring the clear as day issues that have a path that's easily traceable, right from wrong? I've argued with people today, and we agreed on what we were arguing about, but you could not, there was not a chance. There was emotion, there was anger thrown at me, there was statements of, you just do this to try to garner more attention because you like attention. Listen, you don't know me. If you're watching this and you don't know me from real life, because this is a new station, right? This is a new thing that I'm doing. But is there a part of me that likes attention? I like people to watch my art, okay? That's my attention. And I'm definitely not shy. I'm definitely an extrovert. This is clear because I made my own little news station. So clearly. But what I'm doing here is not for attention. When I want to make my art, that's what I really want attention on. I'm trying to literally stop families from being at each other's throats. I'm trying to stop families from one person walking into the house and another person says, you don't understand it because you're white, and the whole family's white. I'm trying to wake people up and say, we can exchange ideas and not write off the family. But when you say, The only person that tore this nation apart is Donald Trump. You're 100% wrong. The separation is accountable across the spectrum. And if nobody accepts that initial portion, nobody's going to join. No one from the right is going to join. So what's happening now is a demonizing of the people on the right in general. You don't agree? Done. Got nothing to say to you. Again, these people don't follow politics. They don't know who half the people are that are in high-ranking positions. They don't know the stance, and they don't know what's been being said. Madonna wanted to blow up the White House like 24 hours after Trump moved in. This is normal. What's the girl from the comedian, you know who I'm talking about, who made a fake Donald Trump head that was beheaded. This stuff is very problematic. And again, we're not taking ownership of exactly what is really, really going on. And there can't be amending between anything if you're not willing to have that conversation. And I reach out to anyone on either side that is willing to accept that the other side might have some differences, but they should not be demonized. Those people are the people that are going to have to forge the path for healing. I'm one of them. I denounced exactly what happened the other day. And I denounced the whole time. The hypocrisy curve of me is a flat line. Because what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And nobody is going to bully me in any shape, way, or form to accept what's right is what's actually wrong, and violence and this stuff is okay in certain situations because people are upset, and in other situations people are upset but it's not okay. No. Wrong is wrong, right is right, and I will not bow to anybody who is trying to force you to accept some sort of illogical idea because it's been forced down their throat in the news, but they don't watch enough stuff to actually even form an opinion, let alone if it happened to them. If their house was burnt down, people being angry would not suffice. They wouldn't. Getting hurt would not suffice because people were angry. In any direction. You have to put yourself in the situation to actually come up with a real answer. Now, we have to keep going on.
My Insurgents USA.
So this is...
We fucking about to burn this shit down.
Pause. Okay, so this is... Again... There is no way that I'm saying that the people on Wednesday were all Antifa, but this person was mixed in with the crowd. Okay, he was standing just feet from the woman that was shot and killed. But listen to him in the summer. Listen to his message and what was basically accepted as people being angry.
Anybody out here seeing that white militia guy shoot three kids? Yeah. Fuck that guy. And I will tell you this shit is in Utah, a whole bunch of white militia came out there, formed against our group. We out there strapped. We out there ready to burn that shit down. We out there to defend our fucking selves. We gotta defend ourselves now too. We do. Because power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Damn right. We got fucking rip Trump out of that office right over there. Fucking pull him out that shit. Nah, we ain't about fucking waiting until the next election. We about to go get that motherfucker. I ain't about that shit. Because you know what time...
Okay, you had calls there to rip Donald Trump out of the White House, which was led to, during all of this, endless nights of protests around the White House. It ended up in a church on fire, but a peaceful fire. Again, this should have been denounced by all of the media, all of Hollywood, who were making bail funds to release people that were involved in arson and destroying their own community. And instead, it was peaceful, and there was no danger when they were pushed back from the White House perimeter, and Trump was in the bunker. President of the United States, whether you hate him or like him, is a very, very... it's very bad if he was to be assassinated. Everyone could agree on that. I would hope. Because if you can't, you're an extremist. What I just said would make you an extremist, full of hate and irrational thought. How can anyone have a conversation with you? Joe Biden's going to be president in a couple days. That is now 100% a fact. his protection while he is the sitting president of the U.S. is paramount to every liberty and safety we know from outside attack. Are we following the breadcrumbs? I don't like him, but this is the way it is. You must protect him at all costs. If a news anchor got on and said, well, there's a bunch of conservatives peacefully burning down the church just feet from the White House, and they've put Joe Biden in the bunker because he's a baby, I would tell that news anchor to kindly, I'll use this as my bleep.
That was easy.
Off. Blank off. Because that would be bullcrap. And that would be galvanizing conservatives that are fringe. Could go either way because of their anger. A lot of people don't know how to manage their anger. We live in a time in society where everybody suffers from depression, anxiety, and they're constantly bombarded by this device. And we're going to get to this device. Oh, dear God, are we going to get to that device? So when this is happening, it's really important when you have a platform, and I believe it might have been Dan Crenshaw that said this, that if you have a platform, it's very important how you use it. As we see, it's more important than ever. Let's continue. Okay? So, we're up to, I'm going to go to this first, yeah, since I'm already loaded. This is a post by somebody that I am friends with on Facebook. So, we're going to read this post together and discuss its bullet points, because I found it interesting. And everybody that follows this person was really going in about how correct it is. Some of it is correct. Let's find out. So 1, this is not a peaceful protest. Breaking into a federal building is illegal, period. I agree. It was a peaceful protest in the beginning, and then out of the hundreds of thousands of people there, a small percent of completely illogical people decided to go and break in. Yeah, I agree. Definitely breaking into a federal building or any building that you don't own is illegal, period. And you should be prosecuted. And if it's a federal building, you could be brought up on terrorism charges. Which then begs the question, why was it so offensive in Portland for all of those months when they were trying to take down federal courthouses and burn them to the ground, that they considered it a racist act to defend it? Do we see that that's hypocrisy? So in this bullet point, I agree with what is said. I'm always going to mess this word up. Unilaterally, I agree with it. So that means everyone in Portland that they can identify that did what they did, yeah, prison. Same thing on the other side. And again, a big point of contention was there was only 13 people arrested the other day. That's well over 80 by, I believe, early this morning. It's probably going up. And they have FBI wanted posters from a large majority of them. Okay? So, we're in agreement here. Why would anybody look at me because I'm a conservative and say I should be shunned at this point? We shouldn't. Bullet number 2. Violence resulting in someone being injured, parentheses, and I'm sure more to come, isn't peaceful either. God, I've been saying that since May. I've been saying that if we really want to go back, since I've focused on politics and there was any riot. Go through my Facebook feed, it's just a Rolodex of me explaining the consequences of our actions since I was in my 20s. What were you doing on yours? Were you debating if the dress was white or blue? Or were you debating some sort of meme? Or what's the audio? Green Needle and Brainstorm? Because I was actually explaining to people to be open and understanding that violence isn't the way. I've been preaching this for over easily a decade. And before that, you could have asked me. You could have asked me when I was 7. Don't tell me anything. Are people beating the crap out of people and destroying their property? That's wrong. That was instilled by my parents. I don't go around beating the crap out of people. Ever. Even if I'm angry. Even if I've been slighted. I don't do it. Do you? If not, we agree. You can't do this. I need a sip of my alcoholic beverage now. So, 3. Please, everybody, share this. 3. Breaking the glass of said federal building is also not peaceful and a violation of law. Pretty much said the same thing as 2 for the most part. Violence is violence, breaking glass. Again, the creator of the 1619 Project doesn't think breaking property and stealing is violence because conveniently in 2020 and 2021, we keep altering and tinkering the definition, and then we upload it to our brains through the media to do what? Make you say that is the specific meaning. That is exactly what it is, but it's not. We can't just change the meanings, the terms, and actual reality to fit how we feel, because that would perpetuate a world of insanity of ever-changing definition. 4. If you want to be heard, how about peacefully holding a protest, debate, and using actual words? Parentheses, I know this is hard. This is the hard part for the uneducated, to convey your thoughts and emotions. I agree. Thumbs up. Got it. Okay, so I agree. If you're at that point where you're like, hey, I want to be heard and I want to peacefully speak, I would love that opportunity. Again, we could go out into a park in the frigid weather, which is by the laws of, well, not laws because they're not, but by the mandations of the tyrant governor currently in office, and de Blasio, the uneducated. It's perfect weather to go sit outside and have some food. I think this morning when I walked outside, whatever moisture was in my skin froze to my skull. But I'll go out there and freeze my behind off to have a debate with anyone about this from the other side. I assure you, I will not be the one that's mean, angry, ill-hearted, full of hate, and personally attacking you. Today I had this debate with somebody and I was personally attacked multiple times. I stayed calm, I stayed the course, and I kept planting logic. I believe they got it, begrudgingly. Either that, or depending on the situation, it's cool to smash buildings. It's cool to kill people. It's cool to do everything, no matter what your cause. Doesn't even matter if it's political. You might like alligators. Let's just debate. You might be, save the alligators. Somebody in Louisiana smashed an alligator's head in, and then you went and you burnt down in Jackson Square, you burnt down the cathedral. Not cool. And it's not political. It's about the alligators. You get what I'm saying? Can't go on emotion. You can't abuse somebody. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I will drill this home until you get it, because this is how we go forward. Again, it's 2021, and people are angry at me that I know, and then I have people also thanking me that I know for speaking the truth. I am by any means, brainwashed, and I'm not on any side of extremism. I know right from wrong because I learned it. I learned it when I was a kid. I had a bully pick on me. He was wrong. I stood up for myself, but I got in trouble. I hit him with a block when we were building things in preschool. And I learned you do have to stand up for yourself, but there's still reactions and consequences to hitting somebody with a block. I figured that out real quick. They sent me to the big chair. The big chair, by the way, is a punishment. You sat in a big chair and everyone watched you weep like a little baby as they got to play in preschool. You were very scared to go to the big chair, and rightfully you should be scared to go to the big chair. Big chair was a scary place. You knew you'd done wrong and you're publicly shamed. And you know what that did? That made you not go back to the big chair. And you learned it very, very young in life. You just can't act like a complete baby. But I know adults that are far older than me that still stomp their feet and throw tantrums. They insult and they get angry. I know relatives that do the same. And it's not okay. It's not okay to say, this is how I feel and I won't listen to you. And I won't even think about finding out what you are talking about. It's just you're wrong and you're the problem. That doesn't work. Because we have politicians that want to make lists about people that are conservatives. This is what they did in Nazi Germany. It's problematic and it's very worrisome. But there's more to come on that. Oh boy, is there ever. Okay, everyone, whoever's watching, share the story. Share the feed. 5. and ask people. Actually go in and share this page. Invite them. Somebody did that. They found me through Scott Lebato's post, a repost of my story, and that's really awesome, and I appreciate that you said you shared me with over 100 of your friends. Together, the sane people will pull people back because they've lost their way. 5. Now, granted, again, I've agreed with everything on this list so far. Okay? But I guarantee, if you found out that I voted for Trump, the world has just ended, and I am a piece of crap. But I have agreed so far. Funny. We're going to argue about how I agree. That's a problem. We're arguing about agreeing. Do you see that as a sickness? Okay. If you did not learn how to lose when you were a kid, you are a product of poor upbringing. Being a sore loser is a childish thing, and I feel sorry for you. I do feel sorry for people that don't know how to lose. I do. And if you were watching The Nation, since 2016, you would know that there's been other elections, including the last one, where there was discussion about overthrowing the electors to not let Donald Trump in. You would know that once he got in, they blamed it on Russia and cheating. You would know they would then go on to throw tantrums on mainstream media and say that this man is the devil who stole the election. They formed a special counsel. They illegally spied on him. That came out. There was a lot of things that were broken in the chain of command. Biden and Obama knew this. This is factoids. Factual in nature. Not how I feel, factual in nature. There's recordings of them discussing it. After all is said and done, and all the taxpayer money went down, we got to the point where, boom, there was no indicting, there was no removal, there was nothing. And then weeks later, the Ukraine issue came up. And it was, now we got him, we got to get him out, we got to get him out, we got to get him out. And we were like, you guys have to be kidding us. We let this whole entire thing go. We let you inspect. It's done. And now, because there's possible corruption that's involving someone running for president, you can't look. Well, isn't that problematic? It wasn't to make a gain. The gain was that it was true. And everything that they tried to impeach him for and did impeach him for but didn't remove him is what Biden did plus more, plus a deeper, really deep route through other nations, Russia and China. Money flowing everywhere to Hunter Biden. Then the laptop came out. Then big tech started to shadow ban even further. The conservative voice got crushed. They took things down and said it was hacked material, but when Trump's taxes came out, that was hacked, but it was okay to spread. So there was a bias in the biggest platform of how people speak. The devices that we're all connected to, right? Here's a little fun one. See that? Bam. The devices we're all connected to, right? But you weren't allowed to hear anything. You couldn't share or speak to your friends about it and your family. And then a month later, a month and a half after the election, after Joe Biden said there is no truth to any of this, it's all been disproven, it's being federally investigated. Most people still don't even know that. It is what it is. We're going to have to live through it. Will we ever find out the real results? I don't know. You don't know for sure. No one knows. But it's real. We were told it wasn't. There's a great disservice to great lies that are going on in this nation, which is galvanizing and pushing people to getting really angry and acting inappropriate and irrational. It's about sore loser. We watch sore losers throw tantrums and march the streets and damage things in the name of Trump winning the election. There was riots on Inauguration Day when Trump was in. Do we not see that we're all complacent in this? So for the past 8 months, I'm going to go 8, I don't know, I didn't count it, but since May, all right, I'm not going to do the math, it's pretty simple. Since May, okay, so 7 months. 8 months. 8 months, past 8 months, I was right. We had a big issue. We had unrest in the streets. We had this, but no denouncing. People saying if you think these people that are worked up and angry don't belong back on the streets, you're racist. These people ended up getting their own security for their houses. They didn't understand why the people were at their gates. Okay, the camera will come back. That's not a problem. This happens often. EOS, Canon, 5D Mark III. Anyhow, this is a very, very big problem that we're not addressing. And people on the right, people in the middle, people left of center went, this isn't okay. This is not okay. Whether they publicly said it or not because it hurt their narrative, it's not okay. I was on here an hour. It was still ongoing. They were still just getting forced off the Capitol, and I was here denouncing. Do you not understand? And again, to say 1% of the people, maybe, probably less, went into the Capitol. That doesn't take away all conservatives' rights to be conservative, be radical. That's crazy. Just like the people that peacefully protested Black Lives Matter, that protested unjust killings and had issues and wanted to air their grievances and their gripes, right? We didn't say everyone is wrong. We might have not liked the wordage, the verbiage used. We might have disagreed on certain topics of it. But your right to protest is okay. That's an assured right. So to say everybody that was on the 6th that was there that did nothing wrong, but say we want voter fraud to be looked at, we have an issue with that? I think that's crazy. It's 2021. We've come so far in technology. We should be able to get rid of voting fraud. We should be able to say at the end of the election that Russia didn't help Donald Trump win. Because people still think that. And if it's true, he should have never won. So we could have never been separated. We should have fixed the system before Donald Trump could have ever been in. Right? So you do agree. Democrats for the longest time had problems with Dominion. They've been talking about it. John Oliver talked about it. I had a very staunch John Oliver supporter and a very hard liberal and said there's no such thing as voter fraud. Dominion's fine. And then I played him John Oliver in 2018 saying Donald Trump's right. There is a problem with voter fraud. And Dominion. And he went through the whole thing. Google it. YouTube it. Inconvenient facts. But when you're not looking at it from your side, you say, hey, maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe, just maybe, we have to fix this for the integrity of everybody. But not to tell 75 million people to take a walk when meanwhile in Rasmussen polls, Democrats agree too that there was fraud. And it could have went either way. Yes, the first thing people could, there was a Trump voter that got caught. Even here in Staten Island, they got caught. Yeah, and that's problem. Are you okay with it? There's going to be fraud on both sides. You're okay with that? Imagine you got another term of Donald Trump because he cheated or there was fraud. Well, the last time you did everything possible to get rid of him. So how could you not be okay with at least investigating it? That was where the gripe came in. No one else is supporting what happened. They're going to be treated like terrorists. You can't go into the federal government. And they should be. And so should the people that are attacking the other buildings. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. Share this feed. We're going down to the next bullet. Ahem. Aqua. Clear the throat. Okay. If you honestly believe our founding fathers wanted Americans to disrupt Congress in this way, you have clearly never took a history class or educated yourself in further beyond YouTube videos. Okay? Yeah, what they did was inappropriate. The person's right, 100%. Unless our freedoms were completely taken away and they were putting people in concentration camps, then yeah, totally right. Okay? All right, 7. If you believe your small army of idiots, okay, is powerful enough to stop the United States military, well, you clearly have never been part of the armed services. You are not a patriot. You are not a veteran. You are an idiot with a gun. You're not going to stop the army. There was no winning in this situation. Everyone knows that. That's true. 8. If any of this offended you, please do yourself a favor and remove me from your friend list. 2021 is the year of purging all the low IQ turds from my life. And here it is, right? Ding! There. No conversation. I get a lot of it makes a lot of sense to this person. But again, if I said I agreed with every bullet for the most part and asked them to unilaterally denounce all of what has happened that is violent on either side, I bet this person, even though we agreed on oh so much, would say you are the problem, you're a conservative racist, the nation knows it, the news told me it, and you have a low IQ. I don't think so. And getting rid of people and unfriending and furthering the divide is not healing anything. So if you claim to be healing, you're trying to actually further the divide. You're not healing anything by unfriending people and calling them low IQ and stupid. What are you, Donald Trump? That's what Donald Trump does. He tweets like an idiot. You get my point. You must. It's so vibrant and full of contrast. You can't mix it up. There's no shades of gray in it. I feel like every time I hit this, you should take a drink.
That was easy.
Unless you're just getting over COVID, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol. Okay, but let's go further. We're just getting started. Share this feed. Now we have some interesting takes here. What's going on that Lindsey Graham is writing about? Well, let's see. Let's resize it and read it out, okay? Speaker Pelosi is hanging by a political thread. And Senator Schumer lives in fear of a primary from the radical left. Yes, AOC's probably going to unseat him. People probably don't know much about AOC that are voting for her. I find that a lot of people like the, spirit fingers. Yes, AOC, she's new, she's hip, she's cool, she's with it. That's what we're going with. So yeah, Schumer's scared crapless, if you will. It is up to President-elect Biden to step in and allow the nation to heal. 100%. This is what he's preaching, even though he's saying very divisive things and only amplifying and throwing gasoline all over. Both politicians are doing it. Trump's throwing gasoline on the fire. Biden's throwing gasoline on the fire. And if it's a pissing contest, they're peeing on our faces. That's what they're doing. The pissing contest is literally where they're urinal. Congratulations. We're healing nothing. Because the guy is out of office. It's done. And he admitted it. He's done. Any attempt to impeach President Trump would not only be unsuccessful in the Senate, true, but would be a dangerous precedent for future of the presidency. It would take both parties to heal the nation. I have to agree with Lindsey Graham in this. You have to. And my chair is going to get higher soon. It's going to be a nice time when I actually finish. Starting tomorrow, the studio's just going to keep getting better. BT Dubs, share this feed. Whew. Of course that's going to cause division. Failed Russia. Failed Ukraine. Forced impeachment in the middle of while COVID was starting to spread. Trump closed down travel to China. Fauci says it saved lives. Pelosi's out dancing in Chinatown in the streets saying it's racist. Biden said he did it because he's a racist. How can that not divide the nation if you're not watching both sides of the news? You're being told he did it because he's racist and he doesn't like Chinese people. Yet they're sitting there impeaching him because they hate his guts. Do we not see it? So what is the benefit of impeaching him now and removing him by any means necessary? To disqualify him from even having a chance of ever running again, which again, I don't think he has a chance of running again. But they want to ensure that they can take any conservatives that didn't really like Trump and make sure they never listen to him again. There's political gain in this. That's what there is in this. Otherwise, you wait it out. And to really heal the nation, you don't incite people to go, look, they would take them by any way they can. That's what's going to happen if you do it. It's a divisional tactic for the benefit and the gain of politics. So he can't run again. This is clear as day if you have critical thinking. Again, PEMDAS. Don't just sit there doing the multiplication in the beginning. You have to do it all in the right order. Which, well, parentheses, you do that first. If you know your math. All right. Wait 1 second. We're going to get right back. I'm hearing there's breaking news. I'm going to go to field reporter Danny Presti. He's actually interviewing somebody right now. Hold on. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Danny Presti, checking in with native Staten Islander Pete Davidson over at 30 Rock.
Hi, I'm Pete Davidson of Saturday Night Live. I know you're going to comment about my eyes looking like assholes, but that's just a part of me. Take it or leave it.
Okay. What do you have in store for us tonight on SNL?
Well, tonight I'm going to do a skit where I am Tommy Pickles from Rugrats. It's a digital short, since they don't let me actually act in the live skits much. I walk around as a full-grown man in a diaper, and I do the Tommy Pickles, and I'm singing it. You do the Tommy Pickles, do the Tommy Pickles, and I'm in a diaper. Remember that.
Do you really dislike Staten Island, or is it an act?
Whether I like or dislike Staten Island is not anybody's concern. I've ran on this since I was a child and I was famous. I don't really have much other material besides Staten Island sucks. Let's get high. It's a great time. Like the dump comes out, so does the weed. It's a good time.
So, Pete, do you have anything to say to the business owners that you referred to as crybabies, such as myself? Also, kudos on Kate Beckinsale.
I did have sex with Kate Beckinsale, and it was great. I know you hate me for it, Danny, but everybody can't be the king of Staten Island. But what I do have to say is, you are a baby, because you should just stop what you're doing and listen to the rules. By the way, please see my next movie with Jonah Hill. I just signed a $10 million contract. Things are going great for me. Excellent, really.
Well, Pete, thanks for joining us. This is Danny Presti, signing off.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. Again, my name's Pete Davidson. Nice to meet you. That is a cat next to me. Thank you, Danny, for that report. As always, spot on. My cat turns 11 tomorrow. But, having said, hey, off the microphone. This is what she does. Cat butt in the microphone. Okay. So, that was interesting. Thank you, Pete, for joining the show. You're welcome. Where'd that come from? Okay, so we're going to go back to where we were and still finish what we were talking about. So let me make sure we watched here. Yep, we got that. All right, so back to the responsibility of us all.
It was so jarring to me that this is the state of our democracy. And then when you do see some Republicans standing up and saying, enough is enough, some of our senators and some of our congressmen, I don't think that at this point they get credit because they have poured gasoline on this flame for 4 years. The chickens have come home to roost for them. They do not get credit now.
The whole ugly demonstration showed you that the police are capable of restraining themselves. They know how to do it. You saw it. Not only that, many of them enabled these insurrectionists to go into the Capitol and endanger the life of people like Dianne Feinstein, who's like 85 years old, had to be hiding. I mean, it's outrageous. And I don't forgive Lindsey Graham. He can go on the floor of the Capitol and cry his eyes out. He is part and parcel of this problem. And so is Mitch McConnell. And this idiot Josh Hawley, he needs to be stripped of all committee things that he's been doing. Ted Cruz, Rudy Giuliani, go back to the landscaping business. You are done.
Problematic. Again, problematic. No conservatives that are even helping this transition should even have respect. It's too little too late. Everybody should lose their position. Matter of fact, it sounds like they want to march conservatives in any shape, way, or form that are even helping the transition of power into a proverbial wood chipper. There's no appeasing anybody in this situation. No one's willing to budge. There's no such thing as bipartisan because everybody's gotten to the point where, again, we have people, retirees, housewives, house husbands, a men, a woman. They're all watching The View, which used to be about different topics, some comedy, some pop culture. The View is literally a political show now. And I'm very interested to see where TV goes and news goes without Donald Trump in the world, because Joe Biden doesn't even take questions. There's already been a fight amongst reporters. They've been muted on Zoom for even trying to ask Joe Biden questions. So politics are going to get real boring real quick. And for the past 4 years, that was all everything was. SNL, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, all of it. Everything was Donald Trump about how bad and hateful and racist and how he's tearing the nation apart, with nothing good about his Nobel Peace Prizes and the other things, and the fact he tried to end wars that Congress will not let him end. We've been in Afghanistan for going on 20 years. 20 years. My cat's going to come and totally ruin the broadcast again. Here she is, the birthday girl. And she just comes up here and starts cleaning herself. Okay, listen to me, cat. You're being broadcasted to the world. This isn't the cat show. Let's go. Get out. So, we have a problem. We have a very big problem, and the problem is real. And the evidence is ever mounting when you should say, you ready? You want to see healing? We're almost done. We're going to get through this. He leaves office in a few days. We didn't like him. We had issues with him. But now there's a chance, and hopefully for all of America's sake on both sides, this works out. And we can come to agreements that we all want to be a part of. He's going to go soon. We should stop the nonsense, and we should commend the conservatives that are, having cooler minds in general and prevailing with the vote tally. And I'm speaking as if I was a liberal. That's how you get peace, and that's how you get people to get on the same page. Oh, this cat. So, yeah, there's a way to do these things. And what they're doing right now, they can't get out of their own way. The anger and the hate is so vast. So vast. Let's see what else we got for you. Oh, geez, she's going to knock my mic over. Let's go, cat. Out of here. Oh, man. I am sorry. I'm going to have to put her in the room next time. I wonder if I'm losing viewers due to excessive cat walking. All right, let's see what else we got for you. Morgan Freeman. Don't know if this quote's even really Morgan Freeman. Remember, what you see on the internet is not always real, but God, I hope it is Morgan Freeman, because I could read it in his voice. Just because I disagree with you does not mean I hate you. We need to relearn that in our society. If he said it, good. If he didn't, let's act like he did. This is real. This is absolutely real. I've seen Morgan Freeman discussing how, not really on Black Lives Matter, but in general, about how black people are held back on, I think it was on CNN. Might have been on CNN. And he said, I disagree. I think this is a great country for black people. And the white anchor said no, as if he doesn't know. There's a thing about white privilege. I'm going to get into that right now. Real quick. Real quick. You ready? White people love to tell you about how privileged you are as a white person. Maybe they forgot that they're white. That's a start. But furthermore, if a black person who they want you to listen to black voices, which everyone should listen to everyone's voice, but yeah, listen to black voices because that's how you can get an insight, right? That's what it said. So you listen. If they don't say what the mainstream media says, white people call them bad names. They call them racial terms. They discount them and try to silence their voice. Happens to Candace Owens all the time. And that's white people that do that. That's white privilege, to think that you can tell a black person what to say. You are a part of the problem. You're exacerbating the problem that you know exists somewhere. You are the problem. Matter of fact, I've been told in the past, you don't know that because you're white. You have this privilege, blah, 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 white, white, white. But those people went on to have children. Now, if one was so extreme, you would say, if you think that white people and yourself are such a problem, first of all, how can you tell another white person you're part of the problem? How did you get so woke to knowing you're part of the problem because you're still part of the problem because you're white? Why did you procreate? You're just exacerbating the problem. Now, that's an extreme thing. It's not real. What I'm saying, it's if you follow what people are saying, that would actually be a remedy. And that's insane. Nobody's really focusing on it. Everyone got lost in it. You know what? In 2007, I didn't walk around and ever hear anyone go, oh, that's white privilege. I didn't hear it. Didn't exist. So what happened between then and now? doesn't make sense. What else we got? Uh-oh. Bum, ba-dum, bum. White House Task Force says there could be fast-spreading USA variant of COVID. Oh boy. There's about 1,000 fast variants spreading, and regular COVID is very fastly spreading. But wait! There's more! It's a screamer! I'll be right back! That, right there. The British government has released rules for sex during new COVID-19 lockdowns. The rules state you should wear masks during the act, avoid kissing, and avoid face-to-face contact. They even said, quote, your best sexual partner is yourself or someone within your household. Okay. Couple things. Most people would say that it would be best if it's the person in their household because then it's a monogamous relationship, which is really good to have during a pandemic. Check. Nobody's not going to have sex for like 5 to 10 years. Also, reality. Check. And during this time, it seems glory holes and fleshlights are in order. So go to adamandeve.com. I hope you like my comedy. I'm throwing it in there. Okay, everybody from New Jersey, here's your chance. The official petition to recall New Jersey Governor Murphy. The website is recallgovmurphy.com. You have only this month to do it, or the next 30 days, but now it's even less. Certain states allow for recall with a certain amount of signatures. Gavin Newsom's almost up because everyone in California hates Gavin Newsom. Maybe it's because it's really horrible to live in California. The restrictions are completely unconstitutional. And Governor Murphy needs to face the music because it allows for it in his state. And if you feel that Governor Murphy has all your businesses shut down and the way of life is not the way you would like it, it's time to go to that website. Again, the website is recallgovmurphy.com. All right. We're moving along to what will be the final part. I was going to play something for you today, but I'm going to save it because I had enough material for you. Again, share this. There's always a replay, and it's good to get it out there. Here we go. We saw that yesterday. This is Scott Lebato's parody portrait of Nancy Pelosi. I love the fangs, Scott. They're excellent. I loosely know Scott, and I find him to be a very interesting individual and a friend. He's a good guy. I like him. He was on my podcast back in the day. I've met him a lot lately. And he's now not allowed to post on anything, pretty much. Very limited to what he can post. So when people say the freedom of speech is in big tech's hands, and now without any form of conservatism in the House, Senate, and presidency, the powers, overreaching powers that are heavily favoring Democrats will not be tested. No, they will not. So what do we got? So let's see. What has Scott been doing? This is what he got. You can't post or comment for 30 days. This is because 5 of your previous posts didn't follow our community guidelines. And here's January 8th. You're posted and follow our community standards. January 6th. You're posted and follow our community standards. Standards of bullying, blah, 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 blah. Harassment. Again, Nancy Pelosi is a public figure, and people can do parody on public figures. Do we not see a problem there? So, what did Scott do? He wrote, and just like that, a conservative opinion is squashed. Children can watch Cardi B sing Eat My Ass all day long on social media. Though, let's read it in speed here. I'm sure this post will be taken down. I'm on Parler, folks, till they shut me down from there eventually. God bless America. Land that I love. So, we find something very interesting. He started posting other things. Scott is a strong protester. There he goes. Picture of some food. A wonderful ball of yarn. But you know what? You know what the concern is? This is the concern. Breaking. Apple is currently threatening to ban Parler app, the free speech alternative to Twitter, unless the service enacts draconian censorship policies demanded by left-wing big tech oligarchs, according to 2 sources familiar with Apple's threats. Okay. we see a problem here. Apple is about half of all smartphones in the world. And you'd say, how can they do that? It's just an app. I know. How can they do that? One would ask. Well, what did they do recently in China? Apple removed 39,000 game apps from China store to meet deadline. These were not pro-China, according to China, and they did not want these apps on the App Store. So China told Apple, get them off, and Apple did it. So what do you think is going to happen with big tech and how it affects their company and what an America First policy would mean for their company? The inconvenience of having freedom of speech is rather inconvenient in billions of dollars of revenue. And they don't really care about me or you because they use slave labor in China to build these things. And once you lose all forms of social media, again, hey guys, this has been taking over our brains for a long time. It's the way people communicate on a mass scale. And if the news doesn't show you and you can't post it, eventually the voices get so quiet they're a whisper that no one hears. And it's happening. It's happening right in front of us. This is one of the concerns that people have that are conservatives. And of course, a lot of people say, it's because of your racism you say that, or your intolerance. But if one of these services said, you can't write hashtag BLM, or you can't say that peaceful protesting for your point of view is okay, everybody would lose it. So the point is equal treatment across the spectrum. That's what's important, because we're all under the banner that's behind me. This banner, the flag, the United States of America, enacts certain rights for us. And we're getting those tested. And it happened real quick once the certification happened. People all over the place are left and right getting attacked and silenced on social media. The shadow ban is real. So eventually, just remember the name, because I'm going to have to bring this to another platform one day. It's going to happen as long as they have live streaming. And if not, got to do what I got to do whatever way I can. Just talk to people. But this is 2021's America. And if you are partaking in actually allowing voices to be silenced because you don't like them, your voice will be silenced one day too. And don't come crying. Do not come crying while you're on a food line waiting for the shortage of food, just enough to maybe sustain your family. But what we got here? Speaking of parlor, speaking of old parlor, wait, I forgot one. I think I forgot one. Where is it? Nope, I didn't forget one. I lied. Speaking of parlor, your boy from Interpreting the News with John is under the same handle of Facebook, We the People Are the News. That's my handle on Parler. Don't know exactly how I'm going to use it, when I'm going to use it, but I have an account because soon I might not have an account on anything else. That's just the way it's going these days. Unless you virtue send and do exactly as you're told, you seem to be an enemy of the state these days. But the news show that inconveniently awakens the mind of those that still have the embers of critical thinking smoldering in the recesses of their minds. 6 p.m. weeknights. I ain't going anywhere, folks. I'm just getting started. I was going to play you, like I said, my first documentary making, but I'm going to save it until one day when it is not a hot news day. It's about 15 minutes long, and that is the documentary I made on day 4 after the Hurricane Sandy hit, the Superstorm Sandy. Some of that footage was seen across the world on different documentaries, but I'll explain all that to you when I actually show it. For now, go enjoy your weekend, reach out to a friend, and when they start getting crazy on either side, if it's someone on the right that's getting crazy or the left, take a deep breath and say, it's easy to get very emotional. But let's have a real talk. Let's get past this. Say violence is wrong, because that'll go a long way for either side. Don't make excuses for it, because the more excuses you make for it, the more accepted it gets, and the more confused people become of what is right and wrong. Come back, camera. Come back. Come back. and what is acceptable and tolerable. We all have a way to heal, and our politicians are just sure as crap not going to do it for us. The people, have to do that. We have to talk to each other like civil human beings. So I hope you all share this. I hope you found it informative. Sorry about the internet connections at first and how I kind of rushed through the first segment because I kind of already had done the first segment. And just go shake someone's hand. Say, dude, we see things different. Let's just chill out and try not to be so hypocritical on both sides. That's the only way forward. Don't lose yourself in the crazy. Don't be the crazy. Bring normalcy. We are the change we want to see. We the people are the news. And that's all I have to say about that. See you next week, guys. Have a good weekend.